Hi guys, so I'm going to try to, as I said before, I'm going to try to do these videos, updates, one per week, and then a general one. In the end, I don't know if I'm going to do something else, like start doing book reviews, but probably not. So, let's start with August is now finished. It's now 2 of September, and let me just say that I'm very happy with my reading in August, because I've read 6,686 pages. That's 200 pages per day, which is amazing for me, which I never done it. I only once in July I did 144 pages per day. Below that, just once in my life, I've read 100 pages per day in 1 month, in a complete month. So, in this case, I've read, as I said, 6,686 pages. It is a combination of factors. I was on vacation for 1 week. I was on surgery, so I had to had a couple of time where I didn't read, but the other time, like 1 week, I was only reading. And then I had 2 weeks that my son was not at home, so I could read a lot more. Then I had insomnias, and so sometimes I woke up at 3 or 4 a.m. going to eat something, read. So it was a combination of factors that led me to these amazing numbers. That's why I finished, not started, but I finished 17 novels. And I've started 26, so it was amazing. So what did I already finish this week? Let's go back and start with this week. What did I finish this week? So, in terms of August, I finished, first one I finished, as I said, just remember, this September was going to be anthologist time, anthologist days, and basically that's what I'm reading for now. Kind of, one exception, but I will get back to you why. So, the first one I finished was this one, Sorceress 21, and I finished, it was back in the 28th of August, and I didn't enjoy it at all, the novel. There were a couple of good short stories within, but most of them are not that interesting, to be honest. Boring. That led me to thinking that what was the purpose of this? Probably to connect some other stuff they were going to publish, and they want short stories to connect those tales, or because the stories itself are boring. I gave it 1 star on Goodreads, like in 10, because I rate in 10 in my personal. I rated it 2 because there are a couple of stories that are cool, and I would advise them to anyone. But besides that, I don't advise this to anyone. The second one I finished was the second on Sirsova. Don't know why I tried to say Sirsova. And here I rated a 4 out of 5. There are a couple of stories very, very, very good. I really enjoy them. And some of the authors, I really looking forward to read more stuff like him. In this case, Schuler Armstrong, which I have an anthology just for him. But Adrian Cole was a cool story. And then the Brian Keelove was another good author. There are a couple of good stories here. I advised, this is the second on the series. It's a quarterly quarterly, and I only purchased 3. I will not purchase anymore, but it was good for the value of things. Then I finish Solaris Book of the New Science Fiction, the first one, which was published back in 2010. There are a couple of good short stories. I made a really, I believe, in my opinion, a good post on Goodreads. You can go read it if you wish, but it made me, I gave it, in terms of stories, I gave it a 3 out of 5, so not a 6 in my personal opinion, out of 10. There are a couple of good stories. Probably my best one was James Lovegrove, sorry, that's the name, and Paul De Filippo plus Peter F. Hamilton stories. Stephen Baxter was also a good story, and Eric Brown. Eric Brown made me want to read, and I got it, but I'm not starting this month. Probably when I read something sci-fi related, Ketani, which I also have. I never read it, and this is connected with these stories, so looking forward to read that. The next one I've read was a manga series called Remina. Wait, sorry, like this. This Remina. This is a complete story by Junji Ito, my favorite horror artist of manga, and probably one of the best horror writers I've known. And this is very Lovecraftian stuff, very cosmic horror. I give it a 5. It's one of my favorites now. So yeah, so highly advisable. The last I finished were Chiral M40. It's a cool anthology of novellettes, short stories. I gave it a 3, sorry, not, but, and I'm going to post a review on those stories, but there are a couple of stories here that are very, very good and very interesting, and made me want to search more by them. So I would advise, if it was cheap, because this is hardcover and cheap, there are 3 more anthologies and another one coming out. I don't know if I'm going to buy them. One problem, I thought that it will go mostly horror, but some of stories are not that horrific. I would not advise to. I would not advise unless you want some anthology to read, and since there are all of these stories are two authors creating them. Sometimes 4 authors creating a story. I would advise them to read because you get a glimpse of what they are. But apart from that, nah. End of the Line, another Solaris book. This case connected to trains and so on. Some stories don't connect to trains at all, but okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5. There are again a couple of stories good, some not that good, and so on. Deserter by Junji Ito. This was an anthology, short stories, and I read them all. Another great stuff. This guy can't do no wrong. If you want horror, go here. Last but not least, the last one I finished was Dark Origins, the last tale called The Deep Gate by Chris Jackson. It was awesome, the best of the 4, without a doubt. It's a novella length, so yeah, and I really enjoyed. I will post a review on Goodreads as well. So what I'm reading now, just very fast: Tales of Mos Eisley, halfway. Dreadful Tales by Richard Lehman. Ramsey Campbell, Scared Steve. This is horror mixed with sex stuff. Not usually my cup of tea, but since I wanted to get over with some anthologies that I have, that's why I start reading. The same with this one. I'm really enjoyed. I didn't knew I was enjoying this much, to be honest. I was going to enjoy this much. Haru and the Sea of Stories. And I started this one, Gotrek and the Lost Tales. So it's an anthology as well. And last but not least, let me Status Dead Zone by as well by Warhammer 40k, in this case Necromunda, and the only ones I'm not anthologies, but I'm reading because I want to see if I would enjoy it. It's Black Crouch Recursion, which I really enjoy. I read like this much in going back and forth to work, and really fast paced. I really enjoy it so much that I really enjoyed so much this book that I already purchased the second one. The second one for me, of course, Dark Matter. So what did I get this month? This week, Dark Matter, Bounds of Chaos, the third novel, and finally the final novel on the Zach Argyle series. Outgan by Danny Flowers, hardcover edition. I'm going to try to buy some hardcover editions for Black Library instead of more paper and more art, because they are more beautiful, and because it's my main collection, Warhammer 40k. You can see there. All that stuff is 40k. All that one. Here. Here. Sorry. Not sure why I was pointing. But all of that is 40k. Behind as well. So I have all novels by in Warhammer series. Warhammer, Sigmar, Fantasy, and so on. So, what did I get more? Junji Ito last novel, The Liminal Zone. Blood Meridian. I'm hearing a lot of dark stuff about this novel. It's very good, and I wanted to buy this. Is the 25th anniversary edition, and I wanted to have it when I got around to read it. Not now, but yeah. And last but not least, the most beautiful one so far, the cover, I mean, it's this one, Echoes of Eternity by Aaron Debsky Bowden. It's very beautiful indeed. Let me show you. Sanguinius. I've not read a single Warhammer 40k novel, so that's it. And then just a quick stuff. I'm buying a couple of more grotesque novels, if you know what that means, like more dark novels. I will be getting to Monday or Saturday or something like that, and because I search a lot of splatter punk, if you wish, and then I bought a couple of ones. I'm not going to say which was which, or what I'm going to buy, but a couple of 5 or 6 novels only. I'm not going to purchase that more this month. But then reading a lot of, hearing a lot of YouTubers, 3 of them came out. One at least came out a lot, 2 of them. And so I remember having them, but having on not on my shelf but on my storage, because I didn't enjoy, in this case, Ian Banks, I didn't enjoy his sci-fi novel, so I grabbed this one back 2008 or 10 or something like that. But since I didn't like the other one, I put that on the shelf and never thought about it. Then now people are talking about this. This is very dark, very grim, very horrific, very splatter, and so on. So I grab it probably next month. Another one, people are talking about American Psycho. It's another one I bought it like 20 years ago. Yeah, probably 20 years ago. I don't know. It was on the movie that came out. I don't know. But I remember buying on because of the plot. But I never read it because of this. This print is so small. And then I put it on the shelf and never talk about it. But people are again saying good things about yours, so I'm going to read it. And last but not least, Meat. I tried this book and I skip it. I tried like 20 pages and I didn't care about the way it was written, and then I drop it. This is back in, I believe, let me search here, but I believe this was yeah, it was back in 2010, 20 of March of 2010 when I started read this book and gave up after a couple of days. Now, everyone talks about this. I'm going to read it again because people change. Back in 2010, I was 30 years old. I only read 200 novels. I didn't read a lot of horror. Horror became my favorite genre, but until then it wasn't. So I probably didn't enjoy it at the time. Maybe today I'm going to enjoy it. Let us see. So I thought about doing this short, but yeah, 60 minutes. Thank you all for being there and reading and seeing my videos. I hope you get motivated to read more and to get motivated to read, no matter what you want to read. Some people call stuff like this trash. Some call, I don't care. Nobody should care what you read. Nobody. For me, it's good. For you, it's trash, and so on. Read that if you want, of course. If you don't want to read, okay. My brother doesn't read at all, and I have 4,000 and something books. So that doesn't mean nothing. It means that different persons have different enjoyments in life. I love to read, and I defy myself to read more every day, because as we get old, I want to read more books because they are more pleasurable than watching TV and playing games and so on. But that's me, of course. And so yeah, that's it. So if you want something, I never really talk about it, but if you want to reading something, I show you something, please let me know. Thank you all.